Hey guys, good morning, happy Friday, welcome back to Urban Girl Gardening. I just want to give you guys a quick video, real quick on this beautiful sunny morning. You guys saw me out here in the rain the other day talking about how we had 8 days of rain out of 9. And yes, the rain is wonderful for your garden. Your garden will love that rainwater better than any hose water any freaking time. But what do you do after all that rain? What do you do if you are a container gardener and your plants have been rained on, but after that first sunny day, they're just not looking like you would think they would look? So yesterday was our first day back, into the sunshine. And in the morning, it was nice and crisp and cool. So my veggies were looking great. They were looking wonderful. And then by the end of, I say evening time, around 6, 7, when the sun started to go down, my vegetables started to droop just a little bit. So after 8 days of rain, my containers were dry. My grow bags, my containers, my raised bed was all dry. So if you are gardening in a container, in a fabric grow bed, or even a raised bed, which is essentially just a large container because it's not in ground, yes, your plants will love having their thirst quenched, but that same rainwater is also washing out the nutrients from the soil. So it is very important to, number one, after that first sunny day back in your garden, when the sun is shining, you're clear of the rain for a day or two, you want to make sure that you check at the end of the day, or every day actually if you're gardening in containers and raised beds. You want to make sure that you check your soil, see if it's dry, which most likely it's going to be. If you are container gardening, you're probably watering at least twice a day. And if it's really hot, 3 times a day, okay? Then you need to see how your vegetables are reacting. So, like I said, my veggies were drooping. They were drooping, y'all, and they were sad. And y'all know my greens was lush, right? Y'all seen my greens when I recorded the video in the morning. So what I did was I took some seaweed fertilizer. Some of y'all use 511. I have 511 as well by default because my husband realized that I was running out of seaweed fertilizer and he had made a store run for me and brought back the 511, which is awesome. It is awesome, but I still have a little of my seaweed fertilizer and that's my go-to for everything. And also, if you have a fish tank, you can use your fish tank water. That's what I water my houseplants with, y'all, my fish tank water. If your fish tank is dirty, really dirty, you want to dilute it with some water so it's not so concentrated because there's a lot of macronutrients in that fish tank water. But anyway, you want to take a water soluble fertilizer like your seaweed fertilizer or your fish emulsion, whatever you're using, and you want to water your plants, okay? You want to water them and you want to give them back some of the nutrients that rainwater has washed away. So I'm going to show you guys. I wish I had the before of what they looked like last night when it was drooping, but I was just trying to save my babies, y'all. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how beautiful these plants look today. Okay, and if you want, you can go back to the video from yesterday for a reference if you want, but I'm going to show you guys. So last night, my daughter and we came out here and we fertilized everything, y'all. Look at this. This is new growth overnight. This is overnight, y'all. I was worried about these cauliflowers because they're not growing as fast as the rest of the greens. Well, guess what? They got their fertilizer last night. They got replenished. They are sticking up, poking out. They are happy. Look at the red cabbage, y'all. And another thing, you guys, when you see leaves like this on the bottom here and they struggling, snap them suckers off, okay? You want your plants to be pushing all that energy into the top growth. So these bottom plants, who cares? Toss them in your compost, but toss them. Or, if they're not too bad, then just eat them. But look at this, y'all. Look at this. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So that is my word. That is my word for y'all. Look at this broccoli for this morning. But I also have another word. Me and Jeremy about to run out, but I got to tell y'all something real quick, y'all. Real quick. So Jeremy and I are getting ready to head out. We're headed to one of my son's schools, the gardening program, and I divided up a bunch of borage. Move out that way. A bunch of borage and nasturtiums. They are getting They're getting gladiolas, they're getting onion sets, they're getting potatoes, they're getting kale, they're getting lettuce, and they are getting some soil and some straw along with these grow bags. Y'all, we're going to have a good old time with these kids in this outdoor learning classroom today. And, you know, that's just a part of giving back to the community. But I want to tell y'all a quick story, very quick story. Okay, so I hope the sun isn't too bright for y'all. I really don't have a lot of time, but we're going to talk about this real quick. So last year in March, Jeremy, myself, our kids, we moved to this home that we're in now. March 1st, we moved in. The world shut down 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, God was like, you know what? You moved in, you ain't going nowhere, okay? So I began putting the garden plants together. I was out there, you know, gardening. We built the whole garden from scratch. It was all grass last year. So we lived next door to this elderly lady, and she would always just stare at us. Every time I was outside in the garden, she would just stare. I would smile at her. She would just look at me and go back in the house. But every time I came out to my garden, she would come out and sit on the porch and just stare at me. But she wouldn't respond to any of my smiles or anything like that. So I thought she was just, you know, one of those cranky, angry old ladies from the neighborhood. We all have them. We all have them. It happens. But usually there's a story behind it, though. And this is hers. So yesterday I was out working in the garden, and she came outside, and something told me to just go over and talk to her. So I went over and I greeted her with a smile and a joyful tone. And you know what her response was? A smile and a joyful tone. Okay? So it turns out that last March she lost her husband. And we had just moved in. I was gardening all summer, and she would come out and watch me in the garden. And that's because her husband used to do all the gardening in their home. So when I thought she was just giving attitude, that woman was coming outside and she was grieving. And I did not know. So yesterday we talked about this. We talked about gardening, and we talked about growing, and she let me know how much she missed it and how she wished she could, but she doesn't have the help, and she doesn't think she's as good as her husband is. Mind you, this woman, the only thing that separates us is a driveway. She lives right next door. So needless to say, me and my wonderful next door neighbor, my newfound friend that it took a year for me to have a conversation with, we have a date Memorial Day weekend to fix up her yard. She's going to go and choose any of my seedlings that she wants, and we're going to plant her garden. We're going to put them in bags. We're going to make it real easy so she's not overwhelmed, but we're going to fix it up and we're going to do it. And I just want to tell you guys that, you know, you never know what somebody's going through. Looks are deceiving. Looks are deceiving, and perception is everything. To me, it looked like she was just a mean old lady. My perception was that she didn't like us, she didn't want us there, or something. That wasn't it. It was not about me. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's not about you, okay? We have to get up out of ourselves, and we have to go and help, and we have to go and talk to people. People need people. We are an interdependent people. We need each other. Whether you know, you could say you don't like people, you can't stand people, but it's not true. We need each other. There's nothing in this world that you can do without some help, some kind of assistance, something from someone else. And you know what? Like my former pastor used to say, it's nice to be nice. So that's all. I just wanted to bring y'all that word. I'm getting ready to head out and go hang out with the kids. Lord, y'all, we're gonna be gardening with a bunch of junior high schoolers. It's gonna be fun. But anyway, learn with me, grow with me. I love y'all for real. Okay? Have a good one, y'all. Bye.